So excited for video number 2. Let's go ahead and dive in. So today we're going to talk about a tool that I just recently discovered because I think it's noteworthy in its ability to create interesting videos and interesting images for social media content in a way that's idiot-proof. So I don't know about you, but sometimes if I'm playing with AI creative tools, I'm a mom who's got a young 1-year-old, and sometimes it can be hard to think with mom brain, or sometimes if you're working a ton, trying to come up with cool creative prompt ideas can be a struggle. So sometimes it's nice when an AI comes along and does the heavy lifting for you to allow you to think about doing things that maybe you never would have thought of before. So in comes Higgsfield. I want to give a shout out to one of my coaches at the Secret AI Society, Deanna Leonard, who I had been using Higgsfield before, but she had actually been using it with her social media and had a couple pieces go viral. She got some opportunities, and I figured, why not do a little deep dive with Higgsfield today? So we're going to go to Higgsfield.ai, and I'm going to go ahead and sign up for an account. Just so you can check out the pricing of the account, you can do a 9-month basic one for 150 credits a month. Just on average, think about generating images about 2 credits and about 5 credits for videos. Notice here also that this automatically defaults to the annual plan. There is one piece of advice that I like to give all of my students and clients, which is when it comes to the world of AI, don't go for the annual plan. This does save 40%, which is high. So that is definitely an extra benefit. If you do plan on using it all the time, maybe you will decide to do an annual. But for the most part, these AI generation tools, they shift and change so much that sometimes I find doing annual to be a little bit risky because it might come a point in time that the next coolest, biggest thing might be coming out, and then you're stuck in this annual plan for something and you feel like you don't want to try new things because you spent all this money. One of the things I think is really neat about Higgsfield is that it does use things like VO3, which we talked about in my first video, and that's really neat how it has light standard turbo VO3 video models, and so that you know that you can potentially be using some of the credits for that. But let's go ahead and dive into how Higgsfield works so that you can get an idea. This is kind of maybe the equivalent of having fun using Instagram filters. Like, it doesn't require a whole lot of effort. Like I said, like, the cool thing about Higgsfield is it's going to do a lot of the creativity for you in terms of creating filters that are, you just hit them, put a subject in, and whatever the subject is, it's going to create that. So for example, here we're under visual effects, and you can see that there is a picture of a guy and it's zooming out to a zoom out filter. So it looks like he is being essentially like some sort of crazy drone that can go into space type of thing. Or this guy who has a glowing fish going around his head, or this woman that is on the right hand side that is turning into a paint splash. Essentially, you just upload your image and it will actually conform whatever it is to that image. So if it's a picture of you, it'll make you have a paint splash. If it's a picture of you, it'll have a glowing fish going around your head or zooming out. So as you can imagine, being able to have some preset things to choose from can make things very easy if you're trying to create a really simple, social media post and are part of a video that you want to do and you want to add some interesting things into it. You can have a lot of fun. So like this one is going into an eye. This one's blowing into some sort of powder explosion, which was fun. Lots of really neat and interesting things. Weird glowing eyes. This one with the grill here, super fun. This works with image to video, and it also works with image to image. And so let's go ahead and take a dive into what exploring looks like here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create. I'm going to show you some of the things that I created from before. There's some kind of strange censorship things going on. I thought it was very interesting that I was not allowed to, whatever I did, prompt myself holding an alien baby covered in goo. I even removed the goo part and it still said it was too sensitive. So I don't know what that's all about. But one of my first tests with Higgsfield is this image right here. And this is pretty incredible because of the realism of it. So this actually, I am convinced here that this could be an image of me. And I did a programming model the way that I would do on many of the different AI generation softwares like Kriya or free pick or flux models on fall.ai. There's lots of different ways that you can create, what we call trained models of yourself, where you have multiple images to use you as the model. And what you can see here is I used myself as a model here and used this general filter that kind of makes you look like lifestyle furniture or something. Added this in here and added a prompt, and it came up with these images. So I actually didn't even have a prompt here. I just combined the model of me and then that, and it created these like images that definitely had like really realistic lighting. Could be, I'm not really that into the outfit, but half the time I'm dressing sloppy anyway. So not too far from reality, which I was very impressed with because, like I said, new mom, not always wearing the coolest, craziest, best fashions that are out there. I started to explore more, and it got a little less realistic and a little more scary. Not quite this big, not quite this fashionably insensitive, but you can see that this is because this is done with a different filter here. So the filter that I was doing was the iPhone filter with a model of me, and it came up with some things that felt like a little blah, blah, blah. But keep in mind, I also didn't put a prompt in here. Same thing with this one. This was a different filter called realistic. If I scroll down here and see if I can find it, for filtered videos, I was choosing this one. I was like, oh, this is cool to see what it would look like realistic. And it created these images that looked like they could almost be real. Not exactly me, not my hair color, not the exact body shape. I got some gray hair, not red, all the things. And face is a little bit off. Bringing this up to share a note with you that the accuracy when it comes to program models, I would rate 1 out of 10, like a 7.5, 8. There's other programs that do better programming for your likeness, but it did improve as I went through and tried different filters. So you can see this one getting much closer to really me. I showed this picture of me. I was like, this is a pretty good enactment. Same filter with a better prompt, or I just ran it again. I don't think there was even a prompt here with this one. And showed this to my husband, and he said he could still tell it wasn't me. So if I can try to make the face of it, like it could be me, could not be me, but I know I did actually put a prompt in here, and I don't know why we can't see it right now, but the prompt was like making a kissy face into the lens. I don't know. Oh, it's edit prompt. A candid iPhone style portrait of an adult Caucasian woman with naturally red hair and an average body type looking in the camera with a playful duck face expression. She wears casual, comfortable clothing in a softly lit room where warm, natural daylight highlights the texture of her hair and skin without excessive smoothness. I like that. Not excessive smoothness. The framing is spontaneous, slightly off center, capturing an authentic, relaxed moment. So I think I put the basic thing in of like a red-haired woman making duck face in an iPhone. And then I put on the little prompting tool here where you can be able to get it to actually generate a better prompt for you. And that's what happened. Other filters on here, one was called Sunset Beach, where it will make you look like you're at a sunset beach. I felt like one was a little bit accurate. These ones did incredibly well with using the trained model. I also, again, was using this realistic mode. The prompt just got better. So you can see here the prompt was a vibrant, retro-inspired portrait of a woman here with flawless and full makeup. A lot of the images in the model that I used had me with full hair and makeup and pin-up-y style. So it really called forth this when I put in the term with full makeup. Like out of all of these, like with me with full makeup, this looks pretty accurate. These I was incredibly impressed with. I looked at this and was like, wow, that could actually be a picture of me. So that was exciting. So this one was a preset that actually was called flight mode, and it looked like a woman was at an airport right here with a cup of coffee, and I was like, that's fun, let's just throw that in there. And then with that actual prompt, I said something along the lines of, let's see if we can get it up here again. It was a casually dressed woman with naturally styled red hair sits comfortably in an airport lounge. And then it came up with the whole prompt based on the preset of it. So I didn't have to be too creative. I felt like these two felt a little bit off face-wise. Definitely not an outfit I would wear, but I was like, this double fisting coffee, like that literally could be me. That literally could be a picture I took on my phone. I think I have a picture that actually looks like that on my phone. Then I decided to play a little bit with these fun ones called Tokyo Street Style. Fun fact, I used to live in Tokyo. So I was like, let's just see how we can flash back to 2008 and see if we can get something that looks like me. And Even though we were using a modeled version, it was creating, even you can see the model down here, some Japanese girl Tokyo version of me. So I ended up having to put in information about long red hair. I'm totally having flashbacks about living in Harajuku. So you can see here that this kind of looks like me. Like, it's fun. It's fun. I think that this has potential for sure to go in and play with this one, but it's a mixture. So continuing on here, just with other samples that I did. Oh, as I played with this more, really ended up getting a Japanese version of me, which definitely, if I was wearing a certain kind of makeup, could crush this. I love that I'm wearing a Hello Kitty doll, and what I would like to call this fashion-wise is power clashing by wearing like a bunch of things that may or may not go together, but it is funny to see like an interesting, weird Japanese version of me. Then I moved over into, I guess another filter around here around the 505 room. This kind of made things look like I was chilling in a bedroom, which I could totally appreciate, and actually wish I could jump into that picture because I'm so tired from being a new mom, and my child woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and decided to have a dance party from 2 until 4 a.m. I look at this and feel jealousy for my AI self, essentially. And then I wanted to play a little bit here with this idea. One of these filters here was this guy. It was called Nail Check. And I was like, okay, what if we created a promotional image for a launch that I'm doing? And it says something with cupcakes and launch with me. And it did it. It says launch with me right here with some cupcakes. Some of them look more realistic than others. I feel like this was a pretty realistic depiction if I had makeup on and I was looking at that direction. But some of these didn't have the launch with me in it. It was hit or miss if I could get the text right. Put myself in a different setting just to see what it would look like. And then it started getting really ridiculous. I put myself in a party dress with New York as a skyline. And I think that I actually liked not being so location specific, as this looks more like a selfie that would be realistic. So what are we learning here? Higgsfield can do some really cool iPhone realistic. Like if I threw this up on an Instagram, like nobody's going to argue with me. Try to see if this picture is real or not. It could almost be believable. Moving forward, these ones were a bit ridiculous. This was a 90s editorial. I felt like these look like a frumpy, maybe, I don't even know, maybe closer to reality, just a terrible style. I don't really know. But you can see here, some of the faces a little bit off, not really quite capturing the exact feeling. This one being a little bit more accurate. Then things started to really get fun with these Y2K poster filter. And so again, you can do all this via create an image and selecting these sort of predetermined things. This was super fun to play with because the prompt was incredibly simple. I think that I just said in here, red-haired woman in a 1990s power suit with shoulder pads and bright tennis shoes was my actual prompt. And then of course it came up with vibrant neon cracks the digital atmosphere as a fiery red-haired woman defies conventions and fiercely oversized 1990s inspired business suit. The iconic exaggerated shoulder pads eclipsing her silhouette. Her expression is unapologetically bold, eyes glinting under angular metallic sunglasses. It just goes on and on. I would have never written that. Okay. So this is one of the benefits is you can take your basic idea and it's going to go crazy with it. So what I figured out would be really cool for these, I had a lot of fun using them in the course launch that I was doing, getting people excited about things that we were going to be posting in the Facebook group. And ended up putting some of these in here, and some of them are pretty good likeness wise. And especially getting into these ones, you'd be like, whoa, I can't imagine you looking like this. But you trained the model on a mixture of images from 10 years ago up until now. So there is it's a nice balance between things that look like me and things that kind of look like 35-year-old me. And while I never had this body, definitely got a big kick out of the high makeup face and the overall just vibe of digital hearts. And this is supposed to be a UFO in the background. Doesn't really look like one. Still using that Y2K poster preset. And once I got into doing some things that I thought were a little bit more fun, this is one that I ended up using in the launch content that people really seemed to like. And somebody even had said that it looked like I was a part of the movie Working Girl from the 90s or something. And I do have a little Boston Terrier named Picasso, so I threw him in here. So it was basically like a red-haired Barbie doll type of girl with a Boston Terrier, and then did the Y2K. So really fun things here, and you can actually turn any of these things into videos too. So if I wanted me to be dancing or something, I could click on video. It's going to bring the image over here. I could give it a prompt where I could say red-haired woman dancing with her dog, and then go ahead and keep it under the Higgsfield model light, and then go ahead and do generate under 5. If we do turbo, it's a little bit more expensive. If we do standard, it's a lot more expensive. If we go for Google VO Fast G, it's 80 credits. So this brings back to the original thing that I told you, which is that VO3 is expensive. And if you can imagine, with only, let's say, 600 credits for the month or something, that would be 6 video generations. So anyways, I want to show you what some of the videos look like here. This one was using the preset with the paint one that you had seen at the beginning of this video, which I thought was pretty funny. And this one was used with a preset of light coming through or something. So you can take the image that you create under here and then find a cool filter and then combine it with another filter, and it just creates really wild content. There was a preset that was around making it look like you were getting pictures taken by a paparazzi, and I had taken a still image that I created from another program and had uploaded it here, and you can see that it's now acting like the paparazzi is after me in the middle of the desert of Sedona. So that's fun. I did some different versions where sometimes I was walking, other times I was like escaping a group of paparazzi people here. This one being around, this one was a little bit more fashionable. Didn't keep my likeness all the way through. It looked like a different version. But, lots of fun video tools to play with in here. And what I've discovered, and this was super fun, different prompting. And what I noticed about Higgsfield specifically is that it does understand how to make things interesting in a way that doesn't require a lot of skill and or a lot of forethought even, which can be helpful if you are going for speed. Okay, so you can also hit the little rerun button here to rerun things. Again, let me actually see if I rerun this here, it's actually going to automatically throw it into the queue. From what I've noticed here, there doesn't seem to be an easy way to see the previous prompt here. Okay. Other things to consider with Higgsfield that might be worth exploration is this thing called the UGC Builder, where you can actually create a template with an image and create UGC style content, which is user generated content. Usually would come from an influencer, but in this case, a fake AI influencer, which kind of opens up a whole new world of ridiculousness. So seeing with the selling one, for example, and hitting next and uploading an image here to myself, I can find one. Okay, let's see if we can do this one here. So if I throw this image in, which by the way is not very high resolution, can't imagine how well this is going to go, and hitting next and then saying here, woman is pointing at her head and making a sad face. I'm going to go ahead and hit next here. And then I'm going to say, man, my head hurts. I need a Tylenol. Let's say I'm doing a commercial for Tylenol. Don't do that. Okay. Whispers a bit, rough voice, harsh voiced, clear, very high, happy, sad. How about we're going to do, let's see here. Let's do disgusted just for fun. And let's go ahead and do a harsh voice because at this point I want it to be hilarious. And then we'll have this be auto English and then accent. Let's go ahead and do British because it would be cool to be British today. And I'm going to go ahead and hit next here and then describe the background sound. So we can say bird chirping because in the desert. We're going to go ahead and, see? There we go. I just ate up all of my credits. So that's not very fun. So it's asking me to go up to 1,200 credits a month, which mind you would only be definitely not cheap. With the 6,000 credits a month, it says 1,200 videos. But if you take 6,000, let's just do some quick math here. And if we go 6,000 divided by 80, you're looking at 75 VO clips for $249 a month, which makes it somewhat comparable to going to directly with VO3. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't even think it's going to let me do it. I'm just, for the sake of making this video more fun, we're going to go ahead and upgrade. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the UGC builder. Let me see actually if under the create videos, it actually did it. And let's also see here with the dancing. Let's see if the previous. All right. Okay, cool. I look coordinated. The one thing that's key is the fact that the physics of it, like with the hair and stuff, looks a lot better than maybe previous generations, but it does face morphing. So that's frustrating because there's other video generators out there that like don't do that as much. So let's just go back here to the UGC builder and see what we can create. So I'm going to go ahead and do here. Let's go see if we can do a podcast. Let's say we're gonna choose a higher resolution image because that one's not that great. Oh, okay. I'm kind of curious to find out how it puts the character. We're just gonna do a quick little screenshot of this. Okay, so I'm gonna upload this picture and see if we can get this girl to be a podcaster. And let's also see, it says Google VO3 fast, so it is gonna be a little bit cheaper with this. And let's say that she is pointing at her head, making a sad face. And let's see here. Woman is holding her head like she has a headache and is making a sad face. We're going to go ahead and go next here. I'm going to be extra funny with this because I think it's more entertaining. So maybe I should take a Tylenol, the best headache medicine on earth, especially if you want to destroy your liver. Okay, this might be too long. So I'm actually going to take out the first part of this. Okay, so I'm going to say my head, maybe I should take a Tylenol, the best headache medicine on earth, especially if you want to destroy your liver. I'm going to hit next here. The voice, let's go ahead and keep it harsh, keep it disgusted, keep it British. Sounds awesome. Okay. Background is going to be, let's see here, sounds of heavy machinery. That's why she has a headache. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate here. And let's just see what sort of UGC creation we could do. We just did a total off the cuff commercial, but I want you to note here that there's a few things that could potentially happen. Number one, paying $250 a month to get 75 clips. What does that work out to be? So 250 divided by 75 clips equals $3.30 per clip. This is substantially more expensive than if you were to do your VO3 generations by going directly to VO3. So something to note there, especially if you can go back and watch the first video of this channel, I talk about how VO3 can go down to as low as 20 cents per clip if you top up with credits, with paying $200 something in credits on top of the monthly credit thing, and it'll give you 20,000 credits or over that. So you can actually generate things for as low as 20 cents per clip instead of $2. So we're just going to wait and see here what happens while we're waiting here for this to cook. I noticed here it says install Higgsfield reference extension to recreate any image from the web. So that's interesting. It's potentially getting you to go into things like Pinterest, pin something, and then it will go through and it'll say generate. It'll analyze what the image is and then potentially create something that's similar. And I'm seeing here where it says your pin, so I'm thinking that it's doing it from Pinterest, which is interesting, to say the least. Under the Explore tab here, if you scroll down, you can see this long list of visual effects that they have structured out that you can click on by word, and you can see what different characters or different starting points are with this type of transition called like a roll transition. So it's kind of neat because you can get an idea of what's possible with the content and then, or with this effect. And so then if you want to use it, you can click generate and then be able to use that, and it will help influence you being able to create it. So if we come back here to Higgsfield Light, notice here that this is saying Higgsfield DOP, which it didn't carry that over. So I don't know why under, oh, there we go. See, isn't that weird? It was buggy, right? So we found something in the explore section. We want to generate it. It's adding the image that we had in from before. And so I'm just going to keep it like this under Higgsfield.ai. This little magic prompt button is what takes your basic idea and makes it much better. And maybe if we wanted to have me roll into something else, let me just throw something in here. Let's just throw this other image in here. This is going to be really weird. We're going to say we're going to roll from this cool, crazy image into this other one. I actually feel if we're going to do this, we might as well do something cool. So I'm going to see if we can roll it from one thing to another thing that would make sense stylistically. So this image feels like stylistically it would be fun to roll into. It is so funny and so weird, both of these, but this is just extra. So I'm going to go back here and add this as the end frame. I'm going to go under my download folder where I downloaded the image and now upload it here. And then I'm going to say woman spins, and we'll just see if it can figure out that I want it to go from this to this. Like this actually could create something pretty cool because stylistically these things are the same. And I also could reverse this by clicking the reverse button where I could start here and reverse into this. So let's just see what happens. It might zoom in and some things transfer. It's using this roll transition to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate here. And I'm going to come back here to the change button under the roll transition and see what other transitions are available to me. And it's giving me, okay, so we have new, these are brand new. So this is where like the paint splash one's coming in. We have trending. So that's where the Arial, this turning into liquid metal thing is super cool. So maybe I'll throw that one in there. And I guess you can do multiple of each. So melting and turning into metal. I'm going to get rid of the first one and let's just say woman melts into pink chrome, and we'll just see what happens there. So I'm going to go ahead and click generate on this one. While we're waiting, I'm going to see if the UGC builder situation ended up, okay. The reason why this possibly didn't work is because we talked about a brand name, Tylenol, that actually is got a trademark on it. So it probably was rejected because of that. So let's go ahead and try this one more time. So I'm going to use this one as an example. We'll use this as the image. Let me think about this for a second. Okay. I'm going to say today on the Secret AI Society podcast, we have an amazing guest, my dog, Picasso. So a woman is looking into the camera, speaking into a microphone while she pets her Boston Terrier puppy. Okay, we'll hit this. Today we have and then we'll harsh voice, excited. Maybe we'll do... And again, I made myself British, so that's fun. Okay, let's just see what happened. That Tylenol thing really threw things for a loop. A little ASMR for you. Video. All right. Let's see what our woman melting into pink chrome, starting here, ending here, looks like. Yeah. Okay. I'm here for this. Okay. So it starts here. It uses melting to morph into this. So that's fun. So from what I'm understanding here, it's so cool too, because it starts with sunglasses on. Okay, so it starts here. It uses melting to morph into this. So that's fun. From what I'm understanding here, it's so cool too, because it starts with sunglasses on top of the head and goes to sunglasses on there. So we can see here that the sunglasses fall onto our face, which is like, how smart is the AI here to do that? The only thing kind of a bummer is kind of messed up the launch with me words on the teeth, which is a bummer because it says them perfectly on the end image. Still a very cool thing. Let's see what happened with this one right here. I'm also curious. Okay, so this was using the spinning transition and not quite as cool as the melting transition in my opinion. So really wild, really wild stuff here. And if you can imagine, if you're working on some sort of film project or you're doing some social content that you want to be really captivating and interesting, The presets here are the reason for being interested in Higgsfield. It's not about accuracy. It's not like VO3 where it can do some incredible things with acting, even though it has VO3 integrated into it. It's not about the best trained models for getting the best brand images. This is all about the filters for sure. So let me see here. If we come back to UGC, let's see if it's created yet. And looks like it's still in the queue. Okay, we'll see what this is gonna do. Okay, taking this image, turning it into a podcaster with a puppy. Let's see what happens. I'm scared.
Today on the Secret AI Society podcast, we have an amazing guest. My dog, Picasso.
That's actually really cool. Okay, so this was very accurate. Again, we could have done this with VO3, but the fact that I had the preset behind it to do it, so fun. Okay, obviously, not my voice. You would have to do a slew of things with 11 labs to get it to actually be your voice to do it, but it is cool. It is cool to interesting to see their approach to creating some sort of built-in presets that could get this kind of result versus having to try to come up with this more manually in VO3 directly. So really cool. If you want to make yourself your own character, under the character section right here, this is where you upload images of yourself where you can have fun getting your likeness in there. This is definitely not my favorite generator when it comes to accuracy of this, but so fun to play with. Like, I do have to say that creating images with these crazy filters, these preset filters, is very different than in some of the other image generators because that creativity is built in and it pushed me to do things that I never would normally do. So for that reason, I think it's definitely worth an exploration. Just be cognizant of maybe not using VO3 with this so that you don't use up all your credits on VO3 when you could get them much cheaper directly from labs.google.com. And that's what I have for you in today's video. So if you love this video, please subscribe. If you think it would be fun to get a little taster of what it's like to work with me, we have a $5 membership and you can check out the link to that below. And that can give you a little taste of this world of creativity in your business. And of course, we have an amazing membership called the Secret AI Society that will also be linked down below as well. So if you want to get started, you want to come hang out with us, either way, exploring creativity and AI is what we do. So we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.